Good morning, afternoon, evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Morrow's Algebra 2 class. Today we're going to talk about and learn how to solve two-step and multi-step equations, okay? We already learned single-step equations, and we had a great lesson on that. We're going to start with two-step equations, and not to be sarcastic, but it's two steps, so it's pretty simple. The goal, again, it's going to be always the same goal, gentlemen. The goal of solving any equation, I don't care what kind of an equation it is. If it's a linear, if it's a quadratic, if it's a square root, if it's a single step, multi-step, you're always going to isolate the variable that is in question. It may be an x, it may be a y, it may be a z. But you're always going to solve for the variable in question. And again, I'm not trying to bore you guys, but we're solving for x over 1. We're solving for the variable by itself in positive form in the numerator. That's what you guys got to get in your head, okay? And when we're going through these steps, I'm going to ask you the questions that you want to train yourself to ask every time you see an equation, rather. All right? So, procedures for solving two-step. Well, the first thing you're going to do, gentlemen, is you're going to undo any addition and or subtraction first. When we're talking about a two-step equation, we're talking about something like this. 2x, for example, minus 5 equals 7, okay? And the first question you're going to ask is, okay, is there anything being added to the x? And yes, in this case, there's a negative 5 being added to the x. Now let me qualify that statement. A lot of times people will say, well, Mr. Morrow, it's subtraction. That's a minus 5. I get it. But remember from back in Algebra 1, and if you don't remember, I'm going to explain it to you now. There really is no subtraction. It's really all addition. And you're just either adding positive or negative numbers. When you see 2 minus 7, it's really equals 2 plus a negative 7. So in this case, they're adding a negative 5 to that 2x. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that. And how do I do that? I would add, very good, thank you, my brother. I would add 5 to both sides, okay? So I want to undo any addition and subtraction, and then that's going to leave me with 2x equals 12. And then that's going to take me to my second step, hence a two-step equation. The second step is to undo multiplication and or division second. So once you've gotten rid of that addition, okay, now you're going to ask, all right, what is the relationship of that 2 with that x? They're being multiplied. Very good, my brother. How do I cancel multiplication? Division. And that's it. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. Okay? That's literally a two-step equation. Literally. All right? Now, we're going to be working with two steps and multi-steps today that do not have fraction and decimals. I'm going to teach you a whole new lesson on same exact procedures, but involving fractions and decimals when we get back next week. Because there's little tricks that I can give you so you don't have to work with the fractions. So that's a two-step equation. Let's do some examples here. So again, I'm going to repeat myself a lot. I want you to understand what it is that I'm repeating. So the first thing I ask myself, I'm solving for n. Is there anything being added to the n? Yes, what's being added to the n? A negative 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I undo addition and subtraction first. And I have 3n equals 15. What is the relationship between the 3 and the n? They're being multiplied, so I divide to get rid of multiplication, and n will equal 5. Done. If you so chose, you could always check your answers. That's the beauty of equations. If n is 5 and you're worried, let's say you get an ugly answer, you're like, I don't know if that makes sense. Plug it in, guys. If n is 5, 3 times 5 is 15, 15 minus 4 is 11, that bad boy works. Okay? For number 2, is there anything being added to or subtracted from the y? That's right. So how do I get rid of a positive 2, my brother? I subtract 2 to both sides. Very good, man. Then I've got y over 5 equals negative 10. What's the relationship between the y and the 5? They're being divided. Very good. How do I cancel division, my brothers? That's right. You're going to multiply by the reciprocal. That cancels, and y will equal negative 50. Okay? That's an ugly 0. That should be 50. Okay. All right. Number 3. Number 3. We've got negative 14 equals negative 5 plus 3c. Tell me what to do, boys. Yes, sir. Add 5 because I'm going to get rid of addition and or subtraction first. Very good. That gives me negative 9. Very good, sir. And then what's the relationship between the 3 and the c? They're being multiplied. How do I get rid of the multiplication? That's exactly right, man. Now, I see by some of your faces you're saying, wow, this is a lot easier than I had ever anticipated. And it is easy. It's just a matter of getting the proper instruction, okay? Now, okay, I guess I lied. There is one fraction here. But I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. Yes, sir, my brother. You just made me very happy. That's awesome. Very good job. What you have to do here, guys, even myself, who's very, very, very good at fractions, I don't like working with fractions if I don't have to. So what my boy just said was find the least common denominator, and then you're going to multiply that least common denominator to both sides of the equation. So let me show you what's happening here. What's the LCD of 5, 3, and 10, my brothers? No, 15, no? 30. Very good. So I'm going to multiply 30 to both sides. Okay? Now, when I I'm going to distribute that 30 to every single term in this equation, okay? Hold on, give me a sec. All right. So, you want to multiply 30 to every single term here, guys. So, I'm going to take it slow. A lot of you will be able to do this a little bit quicker in their head, but I'm going to take it slow, all right? So, I've got 30 times 2 over 5. So, that's 60 over 5. And what's 60 divided by 5? 12. Okay? So, again, 30 times 2/5, you've got 60 over 5x. We'll just go step by step. Minus 30 times 1/3. That's an easy one. What's that? That's going to be a negative 10. Very good, gentlemen. And then 30 times 3 is 90 divided by 10. That'd be 9. 60 divided by 5 is 12x minus 10. And voila, I am done. No more fractions. Now I can solve as normal. So whenever you have fractions, please do not allow it to stress you out. Please do not look at it and say, no, forget it, I'm not good at fractions. Perfect. You don't have to be good at fractions with equations, because as long as you multiply by the LCD, you will literally get rid of all the denominators. Now we got a two-step equation. So what do I do, my brothers? That's exactly correct. You add the 10. Good job. Thank you, my brother. And I got 12x equals 19. And then? Why do I divide the 12, though? Why? Thank you, sir. These are the questions you got to ask. I'm very proud of you guys. This is a multiplication. You get rid of multiplication with division. So I divide by 12, and x equals 1 and 7/12. How did I get that? 12 goes into 19 one time. Okay? And then I have 7 left over. I'm just going from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Does that make sense, boys? Because I got to scroll up, and I don't want to scroll up before we're clear. Yes, sir. Thank you. The part that I did with the with the bottom. What do you? Oh, we got rid of them. Okay, thank you for your honesty. Basically, what I did, I guess I shouldn't have done it in my head, and I apologize. I'm multiplying this 30 to all the numerators. You get that so far, my man? So 30 times 2 is 60 over 5, right? Because I multiplied 30 times 2/5, x. Remember how you multiply. This is a 30 over 1. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So that's how I got 60/5. Minus 30 times 1 is 30 over 3. equals 30 times 3 is 90 over 10. And the reason I did this is because now we can simplify all of these, my brother, and go ahead and get rid of the denominators. 60 divided by 5 is 12x. Done. No denominator. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Done. No denominator. 90 divided by 10 is 9. Done. No denominator. And then from there, again, we add the 10. 12x equals 19. I divide to get rid of multiplication. And x will equal 1 and 7/12. Thank you for your honesty, son. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody, brothers? All right. May I continue? Let's do it. Okay. In this particular case, a lot of people get confused here. I'm going to show you an easy way out of this. Doesn't this 10 have an invisible one? Cross multiply, guys. So I've got y minus 4 equals 2 times 10, which is 20. Done. Now, how do I solve for y here? You add 4 because I have y minus 4, so there's a negative 4 being added to the y. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And y equals 24. Very good. So same scenario here. Whenever you, yes, sure, my brother. Sorry. Okay. Good question, son. What he asked was the following. May I simplify the 2 and the 4? No. Do you guys remember the distributive property of multiplication? If I have 3, for example, times x plus 2, I have to distribute that to everything inside? Well, there's also a distributive property of division. So if you wanted to break this part down into individual fractions, my man, you would do the following. This 2 goes to the y and to the 4. So it'd be y over 2 minus 4 over 2 equals 10. And then that 4 over 2 becomes a negative 2, but then it becomes a little bit more complicated. So for me, I suggest just cross multiplying. Yes, sir, my brother. Papa, you had a question, or you were going to help me out?
Oh, no question.
You got it? Okay, thank you, my man. So here, same thing. I got a negative 1 over 1 cross multiply, y'all. So I got x plus 3 equals negative 5. I'm subtracting the 5 because I want to get rid of that positive 3 that's being added to the x, and x will equal negative 8. Okay? Very simple if you just cross multiply them, in my opinion. Same thing here, gentlemen. Put that negative 2 over 1, cross multiply. So I've got negative 14 equals d minus 7. Add the 7 to both sides, and negative 7 equals d. Is that good? Okay. And then what would I do for this last one for number 8, gentlemen? What do you think we would do?
Start off by subtracting.
Very good. Thank you, my man. What am I going to subtract to both sides, Pablo?
4.
The 4. Very good. I want to get that x alone. Remember that. Drill that into your heads. I want to get the variable alone. So I start by getting rid of this positive 4 that's being added to that x. So I subtract x to both sides. Negative 5 equals 5/8 x. Now, this 5/8 is being multiplied to that x. At this point, what do you think we would do? The easiest thing, yes, sir. You're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Very good, son. Very good. So I multiply by the reciprocal literally. The 5's cancel, but I'm left with a negative 1. So negative 8 equals x. Stay, change, flip. Exactly. You got it, Bubble? You got a question? Wait. Oh, okay. I see what you... Once you subtracted the 4, then you cross multiplied. You can do that, but it's a little bit more work, right? Because then you got to multiply the 8, and then you got to divide by the 5. So the answer to your question, you could do it. Absolutely. You know me. As long as it's comfortable to you and it's the proper mathematical procedures, I'm good. Okay, so what he's saying, guys, is this, just in case anyone's wondering. He subtracted the 4, and he was left with negative 5 equals 5/8 x. This is over 1. You can cross multiply, okay? If you cross multiply, you're going to get negative 40 equals 5x, then divide by 5, and then x equals negative 8. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, in my opinion, I think it's quicker to do it this way. But my opinion doesn't really matter as long as you understand the concepts and it works for you. Okay, thank you, my man. May I continue, gentlemen? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do have a negative 8 here. No, 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 no. You're talking about this green guy right here? Okay, let me explain. Thank you, sir, for your honesty. Okay, so I subtracted the 4. I have negative 5 equals 5/8 x. I multiply by 8 over 5, right? 8 over 5, correct? Okay, 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into negative 5 negative 1 times. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. 1 times 1 is 1. X equals negative 8. Thank you. See how awesome that is when you ask and get it? Feels good. Thank you, sir. Anything else, my brother, before I continue? Okay. Now, multi-step equations, same thing here. The goal is the same. We're solving for x. Okay? We're solving for x. You want to get the variable all by itself. You want to isolate that variable. Now, in multi-steps, guys, these are the most complicated of all. Hence, there's multi-steps. Sometimes you'll have 3 steps. I've seen equations where you have 7 steps. It really all depends on the equation. But as long as you follow these procedures, you're going to be able to figure all of them out. And the first step in a multi-step procedure, gentlemen, is to complete any distributive property first. So if you see a distributive property that can be activated, go ahead and activate it. Go ahead and do it. Distribute anything you have to first. That's going to get rid of the parentheses. That's going to open up the problem now. First step, complete any distributive property. Second step, combine the like terms on both sides of the equations. If you remember, gentlemen, like terms are terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. So 3x's plus 4x's, that's 7x's. Okay? So you first distribute anything you have to distribute, then you combine like terms on both sides of the equation. Now you're cleaning up both sides of the equation. You're condensing them a little bit. Step 3, move all variables to one side of the equation. I don't care what side. Sometimes people like to keep the variables positive. Sometimes people like to keep them negative. Sometimes people don't care one way or the other. But what you have to do for sure is collect all the variables on one side. And once you've done that, gentlemen, I promise you, now you're left with a two-step equation. And now you undo addition and subtraction next, and last but not least, you would undo multiplication and or division. So again, complete any distributive property. Okay? Free up the values. Number 2, combine like terms on both sides of the equation. Number 3, move all the variables to one side of the equation. Then you're left with a two-stepper. You undo addition and subtraction, and then you undo multiplication and or division. Sounds like a lot of steps, and it is. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's pretty simple, okay? Now the rest of the class, I'm just going to bombard you with examples. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of examples, but I'd rather you walk out of here with a strong sense of what's going on instead of me giving you 2 examples and saying, okay, figure it out. All right, so I'm going to try to give you just about every type that you're going to possibly see. Okay? Almost. May I begin, my brothers? Yes, sir. No worries. Thank you, my man. All right, here we go, guys. Let's do it. Okay, step one is to undo any distributive property. Do I have any distributive property to do here? No. What's my second step then, guys? Combine like terms. Do I have like terms? Yeah. What does negative 4x minus 6x give you, gentlemen? There you go. Now, I can just solve. Now I solve. I wasn't even left with a two-stepper here. I was just left with a one-stepper. So, no worries. I have a negative 10 that's being multiplied to x, so I divide by negative 10 to both sides, and x equals 2. That's simple. Done. Number 2. Again, I don't have any distributive property here, but can I combine like terms? Yes, I can. Very good. So I have 6 equals 1 plus 5 is 6 minus 2x, because numbers are like terms as well. Okay? Then, how do I solve for x here? That's exactly right. Subtract 6 to both sides. Thank you. Excellent. So I've got 0 equals negative 2x. I do this on purpose. A lot of times people stop here and they go, oh, no solution. And that's wrong. No. Is the x alone yet? So you cannot say no solution yet. You got to divide by negative 2. And 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. So that simply means that x is 0. That does have a solution. And the solution is 0. Okay? Number 3. Again, I do not have any distributive property to complete. I don't have like terms on both sides to add together. But my next step is to combine all variables on one side. So my question to you is, who do you want to move to where? Yes, sir.
7x.
How do I get that 7x over to the left? I subtract it because I always have to do opposite operations. Great job. So x minus 2 equals negative 9. And now again, I'm left with a one-stepper. How do I solve for x here, gentlemen? That's right. Add 2. You're done. X equals negative 7. Number 4, what do I do? Tell me. Yes, sir. That's right. You add 4y to both sides because you want to get all of the variables together on one side. I have no distributive property and I don't have like terms to combine. So I move all the variables together on one side and leave me with 5y plus 5 equals negative 20. Now I'm left with a two-step equation, which we very well know how to complete. And how do I complete that? That's exactly correct, sir. I subtract 5 to both sides. Fantastic. 5y equals negative 25. And then? Divide by 5. That's exactly right. Bam. Y equals negative 5. You with me here, gentlemen? All right, brothers. Let's do it. I like that. Sunset. That's good stuff. All right. How about here? Subtract 8w. Yeah, because I want to get all the variables together on one side. So I subtract 8w to both sides. And then I've got negative 6 equals 0. Uh-oh. Now that's a no solution. Thank you. Mr. Morrow, why is that no solution, but x equals 0 is a solution? Thank you. Thank you. X can equal 0. It's a variable. X can equal any number it wants to equal. However, does negative 6 equal 0? So whenever you have a false statement, you simply put no solution. Okay? All right. Number 6. What do we got? What do we do here? Yes, sir. No. You want to combine like terms first. So x minus 1 equals, there it is, 8x minus 8. Thank you, sir. Okay, I like that. Subtract the x to this side because my boy apparently wants to keep things positive, which I like. Now I'm left with a two-stepper. What do I do now, brother?
Now I hate this. Like,
That's right. I get rid of that negative 8, and that's 7 equals 7x. And then you divide by 7, and x equals 1. Makes sense, gentlemen? Not that bad, right? Not that bad at all. Pretty easy. Good. I like that attitude. Good stuff. May I continue? Alrighty. Okay, number 7. Talk to me. What do I do? Sir. Good choice. Good choice. I mean, I don't care if it's positive or negative, but a lot of times people like to keep it negative. I mean, positive, so that's very good. Very good choice. Now what, my man? I want to get x alone, so I'm going to subtract 4 to both sides. Fantastic. That's negative 18 equals 3x. And then how do I solve for my x here, brother? Did you hear what he just said? He's thinking now the way I want him to think. He just said, you have multiplication, and I cancel that with division. Now, I know that may seem very simple to you guys, but that's the mind frame I want you in. Very proud of you. Don't just do the operation. Think about it. Well, 3 is being multiplied, so I got to divide. Fantastic reasoning, fantastic logic, great job. That's how you're going to succeed. Excellent. Okay, what about this bad boy? Yes, sir. Good choice. I subtract y. I want to get all the y's together on one side. Perfect. Then I got 2y. So then I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Negative 3 equals 2y. No. We got to solve for y. So I divide by 2. And y equals negative 3 halves, which equals negative 1 and 1 half. Remember, no solution will only occur when the variables are gone and the statement that they're telling you is false. Okay? That's the only time it will be a no solution, gentlemen. Okay, now we're getting to the part that I like when we start distributing. What do we do here, brother? Very good. Please remember that this negative sign, guys, go ahead, you can say it. It's a negative 1, and it's distributed to everything. You got no fear here, man. Good job. So I distribute that. So negative 6 equals negative x minus 3. Now how do I solve this? You add 3. That's exactly correct. Negative 3 equals negative x. You can't have a negative in front of the x, so I divide by negative 1. Fantastic. And x equals 3. Perfect. Perfect. Next, talk to me, Papa. How do I do it?
you're gonna wanna distribute the negative 4.
That's exactly correct. Distribute anything first. Very good, my brother.
Get positive 24x.
That's correct. 24x
And you get also a positive 12.
plus 12. Beautiful, son. Keep going. You're doing great.
Combine like
No like terms to come. No, that's okay. The next step is to combine like terms. But there's none here. I'm glad you're thinking. Now what, though?
So you wanna subtract the 12.
Yeah. Good job.
0.
No. Negative 24. That's okay. You're human. When the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign.
Nice.
That's correct, Amundo. And x equals negative uno. Very good. Negative 1. Am I going too fast? Okay. Do you need me to speed up? Yes? Okay. No? Okay. Number 11. What do I do here? Yes, sir. Talk to me. Beautiful, son. You distribute that negative 1, leaving you with negative x plus 9. Now what, my man? Excellent. You subtract 9 to both sides. I'm very proud of you. And that's going to give you negative 23. Perfection. And then divide by negative 1, and x equals 23. Perfect, dude. Perfect. Well done. Next, Yes, sir. You distribute this negative 1, leaving you with negative 8 plus 4y equals negative 8. Be careful with the terminology you said. You add a negative 8. So I'm not mad. I just want you to understand the logic. What you told me to do was add a negative 8. You want to just simply add an 8. Because if I add a negative 8, now negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16. So I'm getting rid of that negative by adding that 8. Do you see this subtle difference? But it's a big one, okay? Thank you, sir. So I add 8 to both sides. Well done. 4y equals 0. No solution, right? No. Good. For anyone that said yes, I got you. You divide by 4, and y equals 0. Y can equal 0. No solution only occurs when the variables have been taken care of, they're gone, and I'm left with a number sentence that does not make sense. All right, last few, and then we're done. Okay, talk to me. Who wants to lead me through this one? Yes, sir. Very good. You distribute first. So I've got 3w minus 5 equals negative 48 minus 40w. 40w. Okay, continue, my brother. Okay, he's going to add that 40w to the other side to combine them in one side. Now I'm left with, again, a two-stepper. How do I move that negative 5 over, though? Very good, son. You add 5 to both sides. 43w equals negative 43. Very good. You divide 43 to both sides, sir, and w equals negative 1. Excellent. Excellent. Next. Who wants it? Talk to me, brother. No, okay, wait, let me just make sure I didn't mess up. Add the 4, no, it's negative 1. No, thank you for caring, dude. Next. You want to try it? Do it. Let's do it. Very good. You distribute the 2. So 8x minus 6. Come on, Moro. Minus 8 equals 4 plus 2x. Now what, my man? Combine like terms. Excellent. And these guys are the like terms. So I've got 8x minus 14 equals 4 plus 2x. How do I bring 2x to the other side, though? Excellent, son. You subtract 2x to both sides. So this is 6x minus 14 equals 4. Excellent. You add 14 to get rid of a negative 14 to both sides, which leaves me with 6x equals 18. Divide by 6 to both sides. X equals 3. Fantastic. Well done. Good. Good. Excellent. Next. Talk to me. Do it, brother. That's exactly correct. Distribute first. So I've got 5y plus 34 equals negative 2 plus 14y. Talk to me, brother. Which y do you want to move? Okay, good man. Subtract 5 to both sides. Get the y's together on one side, gentlemen. 34 equals negative 2 plus 9y. Yeah, he's doing it great. Yeah, you add 2 to both sides. Fantastic. 36 equals 9y. That's it, brother. You got it. You divide 9 to both sides, and y equals 4. Okay? Now, I've only got 6 minutes, guys. Would you mind if I just skip a couple and go to some little bit extra hard ones? Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's go to 18 real quick. Again, I'm sorry. If I have time, I'll come back to it, okay? 18. What do I do here? Very good, but you've got two distributions. Very good. So I've got negative 12x minus 9 plus 24x plus 4 equals 43. Now what do I do, gentlemen? Combine like terms. Negative 12x plus 24x is 12x. Negative 9 plus 4x is negative 5 equals 43. Sir? Add 5 to both sides. That's exactly correct. So I've got 12x equals 48. And then divide by 12. And x equals 4. Fantastic. Excuse me for 1 second. Oh, okay, guys, thank you. Real quick, I was requested to do number 17 because it's an x and a y. We're going to get to that eventually, but this should have been an x. That's a typo on my part. Sorry about that. Okay, let's knock out these last two. And that's it. We're done. Actually, let's go. We've already done some like 19, a lot of those. Let's go. Actually, that's going to be another no solution. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that's going to be another no solution. If we have time, we'll do it. All right, 20. What do I do here, my brothers? Distribute. You got two distributions, right? So I've got negative 5 plus 25x plus, no, minus 40x minus 10 equals negative 4x minus 8x. This is good stuff. It's easy. Just follow the rules, follow the directions, follow the steps. So where do we go from here? Combine like terms. Okay. Here, guys, pay attention. The negative 5 and the negative 10 are like terms, so that's negative 15. Then the 25x and the negative 40x are like terms. That's going to be minus 15x equals the negative 4 and the negative 8 are like terms equals negative 12x. Now where do I go? Yes, sir. The question was, could I have said negative 15x minus 15? The answer is yes, it does not matter. As long as they're both still negative, right? Okay. Now what do I do, guys? Yeah, what's up, brother? They are. This is a 25x positive. No, that's okay, because a negative to the negative is a positive. And then positive 25 minus 40x gives me the negative 15, my man. Because whenever I add numbers with opposite signs, I subtract as normal. So 40 minus 25 is 15. But don't I have more negatives than positives? So it stays negative. Why would I have to? No, okay. Now I see what he's saying. Okay, this is why I do this. Look, am I moving this 25 to that side? I'm adding like terms on one side. Fantastic question, son. Excellent, exactly. You're still on that same side of the equal sign. Very proud of you. Now I add the 15x. Negative 15 equals 3x. Divide by 3, and bada bing, bada boom. Negative 5. Yes, sir. Okay, no. Guys, when you have 8x plus 2, for example, equals 6x, and you bring this 8x over here, that's not combining like terms on one side. That's moving all the x's together to one side. So that would be 2 equals negative 2x. Divide by negative 2. And x would equal negative 1. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Hope you learned a lot. And have a safe weekend. Bye-bye.